Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a video called 7 Fantasies Men Are Wildly Obsessed With. This is by a channel called Isabel Fox. For those of you who want to go and watch it uninterrupted, you can find the link in the video description. Let's do it.
My name is Isabel Fox. When I was 18 years old, I worked in a brothel for $155 an hour. Just 3 years later, I was Australia's highest charging escort at $2,000 an hour.
Well done. That is quite the achievement. I'm sure the parents are proud. $2,000 an hour. Now, we've had this woman on here, or I think it might have been on my other channel before. Not sure it was on this channel or not. $2,000 an hour. Who is paying that? Surely not. $200, I think, would sort of be a going rate. Now, I've never been to a woman of the night, but for those of you guys who do frequent this particular service, $2,000 an hour. Would you do it? What would you expect for $2,000 an hour? Is this what you get for $2,000 an hour? Love to know.
Discovered that being hot isn't enough to make a man
Well, I'm glad you realised that.
obsessed with you. I've worked with women across this industry, and some of the most conventionally attractive women I know are struggling, while normal, everyday looking women have men completely wrapped around their fingers and their wallets. The difference? They understand what men are actually obsessed with. Today I'm
Awesome. Let's be, once again, this woman's going to share how we manipulate men for financial gain. Reaching into those inner wants and desires. They very, very often extend far beyond what you would generally think a person goes down to the knock shop for. They want attention. These women pretend to like them. They pretend to nurture them, appreciate them. Things that a lot of guys who are married, by the way, do not get at home. Makes you think, doesn't it? They've got to make you think.
I'm ranking the 7 fantasies men pay the most for in reverse order, and the number one spot might surprise you. Now, men aren't just looking for beauty. Every man has psychological triggers that go way deeper than physical attraction. They're not choosing based on who's prettiest, they're choosing based on who fulfills their deepest unspoken desires. That is why when women try to be generically hot, they're competing with every other beautiful woman around. But when they tap into a specific male fantasy, that's what gets a man to pay with his attention and his money. Starting at number 7, we have BBW, Big Beautiful Woman.
What?
BBW refers to plus size women. Different people may have different perceptions of what constitutes BBW, so in broad terms, just think of a woman who would be considered plus size. Ashley Graham.
So anything over 62 kilos is going to be my BBW. Guys, really, you guys are going out and paying for this $2,000 an hour. For, the one on the left, yeah, she had a nice face. One on the right, what are we doing? What are you doing? I guess there's that stuff out there, feeders, they call it. And you like to buy the woman the food and then pay for her to eat it on her time. And you watch it. That's interesting. Guys, what do you think about BBWs? You're all about it. What are you thinking about the terminology BBW? Is it just a curvy woman? Or is it a big, obese woman? 200 kilos where you need the car jacks to get it up, if you know what I'm saying. Car jacks to push up the gunt, the fupa. 25 kilos of flour in the boot. You pull it out and you're throwing it around like a baker, trying to work out where to go.
Graham and Tess Holliday are 2 great examples of plus-size celebrities who are very different in look and size, and I have seen BBW escorts at both ends of this spectrum. Although BBW may be the least popular on our list, it is still very much a successful category which makes money. While there might be fewer clients looking for this type, there are also far fewer BBW escorts available, and therefore less competition. I have seen escorts who have next to zero competition in their entire city, which is pretty powerful stuff. The trick to marketing as a BBW successfully, and which applies to marketing for all these categories, is to not shy away from the fact you fit into the category. If your body type fits a BBW profile, I highly recommend you lean into this. Do some research into why men find these types of women attractive and capitalize on it. For example, when I was doing marketing for BBW,
Think about like this person here, right? Like she's giving fellow professionals some tips on marketing, on lead generation, execution, and business strategies. But these are people. These are people that are on the other end of this that are being spoken about like cattle, essentially. So it's okay for channels like this to be on YouTube and say all these sorts of things. But if a man's saying this sort of stuff, you're going to be taken down or demonetized. Huge double standard here. Huge double standard. It goes to make you think as well, like, these are women. At the very core of it, these are women. Yes, they're women of the night. That makes them no different from your non-working girl. It's just that they capitalize on it and get paid for it. As where a lot of other women out there, they're using the same tactics on men, but they're getting paid through guys committing to them, committing to a fake version, getting bait and switched, guys getting stitched up, getting put through the divorce grater, divorce shredder. They're all doing it some way or another. I'm not going to say all, but these kinds of women, they're either getting paid for it or by the hour, or they're getting paid for it in a lump sum at the end of the day. Because think about this, guys. Any guy who's been married and then maybe you married the wrong person, a lot of people do, and you go through that financial separation, you go through that really hard time, you pay out whatever you got to pay out, and you do the mathematics on it. You go, hang on, I had to pay out, I don't know, let me just pull a number out that a lot of men, say 40 plus, might have to pull out 500 grand. Because you might have a house and equity and all that. 500 grand. Now, some lighter, some are going to pay way more, but let's just say that. You do the maths on, say, how much genuine action and affection you got over the course of your marriage. It'd be very expensive. It'd probably be cheaper to go to somebody like this.
BBW escorts, we focused on photos which clearly showcase their ample curves. Something men like about BBW women is the physical sensation of having things to hold on to, which I discovered from simple research on Reddit. With one of my BBW students, by rebranding her profile to draw attention to her curves rather than attempt to hide them, she went from 0 bookings and no money in a month to making $12,560 in just 30 days. That brings us to number 6,
well done.
Luxury courtesan. I liken this category to the Victoria's Secret supermodel of escorts. Think Naomi Campbell, Heidi Klum, Gisele Bündchen, Kendall Jenner, women like that. Now, are these women incredibly attractive? Obviously. And do men desire them? It'd be safe to assume a large majority do, yes. But here's what shocks 9 out of 10 escorts I talk to. This category is actually the second least popular of them all. And here is why. An escort's appearance is only one part of why a client chooses to utilize her service. Another part, a bigger part, is for the experience she provides. The most important part of that experience is the feeling of authenticity. Even though a client might...
The feeling, guys. That's the thing. Guys are trying to buy love. You can't buy it. I had a guy years ago. I went to university like years ago. And he was hooked on... He used to love going to Goldfingers. Now, if any of you guys who know what Goldfingers is, it's a gentleman's establishment in Melbourne. It's with the dancers, not a knock shop. Anyway, he was just head over heels for this one dancer there, and he would literally go there every time he got paid, once a week back then, and he would drop all his pay on her. And he'd ring me up after, oh, gee, man, I did it again, I'm an idiot, oh, but she told me that, she really likes me and wants to see me, and blah, 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 and I felt like I had to give her money. I'm talking hundreds of dollars here. Every week, I completely preyed upon this dude. He never got anywhere with her. He thought she was almost his girlfriend. A dancer at Goldfingers.
Might be paying and happily paying for a range of reasons. He doesn't want to feel in the moment like it's a paid encounter. The problem with the luxury courtesan category is that almost nothing about it feels real. Look at this photo of me here from one of my earliest escort shoots. Does this look like a scenario in which a real, authentic, intimate experience plays out? I mean, when was the last time you were in a mansion wearing designer lingerie posed perfectly on a chaise lounge with champagne with a real guy you were getting intimate with? For most people, the answer is never, and the same goes for our clients. Unfortunately, like most escorts, I did not yet understand that my escort advertising would be most successful when I portrayed for clients visually the type of experience, both sexually and emotionally, they were longing to have. Many escorts come to me trying and failing to make the luxury courtesan category work. Typically, we end up switching to an entirely different category and doubling, tripling, or quadrupling their income basically overnight. Number 5 is service-based, and
I couldn't think of anything less. If I was going to go and spend my money, and she's right here, hang
this
on.
refers to an escort.
If she was going to spend my money, if I was going to go and spend my money, if I was going to go and do it, I'd want to go somewhere where the woman felt real. Like it was a woman that you could have a shot with in the street, I guess. If I was going to do that, if I was in that mindset, I couldn't think of, for me personally, anything worse than going with someone who is going to make you financially, what do they call it? Financial domination, like findom, where guys get off on women taking and spending their money and getting nothing out of it. And going for someone who doesn't look real, doesn't feel genuine. You know they're there just for that. Not that you don't think that about all of them. I don't know. Hopefully you guys know what I'm trying to say here. Maybe it's an authentic experience like she was saying. So women are selling an illusion to men. Now, most men are going to understand that it's not real. But there are guys out there, like I was talking to you about the dude who was going down to the strip joint, Goldfingers. He was in love. Hey, this woman had him wrapped around the finger, and she said, you wrapped around the finger and the wallet.
Escort who offers a specific or specialty service of some kind. The most popular services are massage, BDSM, and kink. A massage service usually includes a full body massage plus a range of tantalizing extras, but may exclude going all the way. BDSM stands for bondage, discipline, sadism, and masochism, and includes a plethora of options which an escort will choose to provide solely at their discretion. And then kink is a broad term, but generally refers to an escort whose service goes beyond a typical intimate encounter. It could be referring to specific fetishes like feet, or uncommon role plays where the escort and client act out a specific fantasy scenario. Anastasia Steele from 50 Shades of Grey is probably the most well-known celebrity from this category right now. Interestingly, this is the only category where the escort's looks may not necessarily be a focal point of the experience for a client. Clients usually make their selection based on the service first and the escort themselves second. Out of massage, BDSM.
That's interesting. You purveyors of this particular service, or you pundits, you consumers, what do you think about this? I want to hear about it. What do you think about this video? Is what she's saying true? Guys, halfway, if you're enjoying this video, consider subbing to the channel, like, comment, and share if you want to support my channel further and get access to other videos no longer on YouTube. Join the locals community, link in the video description and pinned comment. The best way to help me, guys, like, comment, interact with the video, watch the videos for as long as you feel free to or feel you want to. But the longer you watch, the more it gets pushed out to a wider audience, essentially. That's what helps me. All right.
BDSM and kink, massage is by far the most popular service sought by clients and where I frequently see escorts making an absolute killing. Although BDSM and kink are less competitive because they're specialized services, which many escorts aren't trained in providing. They're also less in demand than massage, which is a more mainstream service offering. Often, I work with escorts to operate two profiles, their primary escort profile and a massage-only profile. Here is an example of a massage escort photo shoot. Note how the massage table and therefore the service is the focus of the shots. Number 4 is MILF. This stands for Mother I'd Like to You Know What, also known as Cougar. Fun fact, each year Pornhub releases a list of most popular search terms, and MILF is regularly in the top 3 across the entire globe, proving that sexual attraction is not bound by age. Remember.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And they said, what's the number 1? It's like brother and sister. Like dudes are looking up, guy hooks up with his sister. Like what? Or his own mum. Animals, you guys are animals.
Remember American Pie? Well, Stifler's mum is the ultimate OG of the MILF category. She's been my muse many times when working with MILF branded escorts. A lot of mature age women I work with come to me having tried to market their age from the angle of intelligent classiness, thinking it's their mental and emotional maturity which will be appealing to men, particularly older gentlemen. In my experience though, if your age, think 40 plus, qualifies you for the MILF category, there is more money to be made in marketing yourself like Stifler's mum. You'll be surprised by the vast range of different clients you'll attract, inclusive of older gentlemen. Here is a successful rebrand of a student of mine from classy to MILF. Classy, intelligent woman is just not a search term I have yet seen on Pornhub's most search lists. While we aren't
Classy, intelligent woman. Like, is that what you go looking for when you go and looking for a woman of the night? And do you think like it's actually true? A classy, intelligent woman down at the Daily Planet. You Melbourne locals will know what I'm talking about. What's this thing? I always wondered this. I was actually thinking about this the other day. You know, women think that because they put a skirt on and a button shirt and put a thick pair of glasses on, reading glasses, that it makes them like a smart, sophisticated, like sexy secretary or teacher. What do you guys think about that? Does it work? It definitely doesn't work for me.
selling porn. I do often like to reference porn as a way to gain insight into the sexual fantasies and desires which may appeal to our target market. Number 3, college girl, someone who is 18 plus. When I first started working in the industry, I was 18. I worried that my braces and my baby face would work against me. I was wrong. Schoolgirl is by far the most commonly requested escort outfit and dress up from clients. So it is no wonder this category is in such high demand.
And if you think about it, what's the fantasy, right? Every guy wants to be with a younger woman. I'm not sure about schoolgirl being a teenager. I think it's the thought of innocence, maybe. I don't know what it is. Schoolgirl doesn't really do it for me, but I can understand why guys would go for that, because you would say that without much doubt, most guys would like the idea of getting with a woman much younger than them.
If you look younger than 21, then this might be the category for you. Ariana Grande is a great reference for this category. Her high ponytail, miniskirt, her teeny tiny body give her that youthful college girl look. Now, I know people might worry about what this preference means, but in my experience, the psychology behind it is actually about nostalgia. These clients are drawn to this category because it reminds them of the best time of their lives, when they felt attractive, carefree, and light. Many also have crushes from their youth that they never got to act on due to nerves or confidence, like the hot girl at school they always wanted but could never approach. I personally fit into this category for many years, and I never had any client behave in a way that concerned me about inappropriate preferences. Some younger male clients also prefer this category because it feels more authentic. They're likely dating women their own age in real life anyway. When I work with an escort in this category, like Amanda here, I just stick to the classics. Think schoolgirl, little mini dress, frilly lingerie, and long socks. There's really no need to overcomplicate it and reinvent the wheel. Just think about what...
Let's cut all this bullshit aside for a minute. Let's think about what, if you could be really honest here, what would most men be happy with in a woman? Okay, yes, we have all these guys with kinks and stuff like that that are going to go and pay egregious amounts of money, like $2,000 an hour for this sort of experience. Hey, if you got the money, I guess, good luck to you if it makes you happy. But what do most guys want? Let's talk about that. Because I think she really hit the nail on the head at the beginning of the video. And that was, men want something authentic. They want someone to appreciate them for their hard work, for their discipline, for being protectors, for being providers, for taking on the stresses of life and shielding those women in their life from those stresses. They want to feel appreciated, wanted, and genuine intimacy. Now, that doesn't mean, reenactments of adult movies. It is just someone who just truly wants to be with them. And a lot of guys never experience these things. They might get them at the start of a relationship. That's what gets them sucked in, gets them on the hook. They feel like they've won Powerball. All their dreams have come true. They've met this woman who is just ticking all the boxes. She's fun. Everyone likes her in his friendship group. His family loves her. She loves him. Everything he does is great. They don't fight. You hear them say, we've never had a fight before. And then what happens generally once she's played that part and bait and switched the guy? As cynical as this sounds, it's very common. The guy ends up living underneath the control of a jail warden, and he becomes an indentured servitude living in prison, having no true autonomy over his life. That's a lot of men. I'm going to say it's all men that are married or have long-term girlfriends, but most guys lose their spine if they ever had one to start with. That woman controls them. She critiques him. She chips away at his self-worth, self-esteem over years to the point where they probably end up going to these workers. Not going to understand that. Or they go on OnlyCans website. So you can understand why, I guess I can understand why guys do. I don't know about $2,000 an hour. $200 an hour, that'll be my limit. I don't care. I'm not a man of high taste. I'm fine. Fine taste. I'm all good. I'm all good with the budget option. The wristy down and dandy, I'm fine with that. But this is the life of many men, right? So you can see why it did annoy me a little bit at the start of this video, and she's talking about make the men feel like you're being authentic with them, because there are men out there that fall in love with these women and will do stupid things, like blow their lives up chasing around a woman of the night, a stripper, and emptying their bank account and giving them money and getting used up. That's the same thing as OnlyCans, right? They get these guys, these pay pigs on there who fall in love with them. They think they have a rapport. They think they've got a relationship with that woman. They feel like she likes him, she sees him. It's very predatory, and the narrative in society is that men are the pigs and men are predatory because they're paying to get their end out in women. But these women are using mind games, manipulation tactics to ensnare these men and get the most out of them, extract as much blood out of that stone.
What you used to wear when you were around 20. Number 2, PSE. PSE stands for Pornstar experience. The Pamela Anderson look is what comes to mind for many clients when they think of PSE. Now, the most common concern I hear from escorts who are considering placing themselves in this category is the fear they'll be expected to perform services which they just aren't comfortable with, particularly backdoor. However, PSE is just a description. It doesn't include any specific list of services. If you're working in a location where escorting means companionship because sexual services aren't allowed, then you're not going to be sending a service list anyway. If you're working somewhere where sex work is legal, you can simply list out what your PSE includes and there will be no confusion with clients. When I offered a PSE service, occasionally I had clients who specifically wanted backdoor or other select things which I could simply say yes or no to. But usually they just wanted an
Once again, how's this stuff, right? So I know I'm sort of calling this out. This kind of content is fine for women to make this kind of content. I say words like that, I get literally demonetized for shit like that. You know, you got full-blown escorts on here talking about how to manipulate dudes with a monetized channel. You know, this world it's backwards. Absolutely backwards. So this is one thing I truly can't understand, the PSE as she's talking. You know, you could just get that experience by paying $5 a month or whatever it is, $1 a month for some of them. Unlimited access. $2,000 a month. But it's very interesting that because I have made videos on this channel, they've all been taken down now, unfortunately. Those were some of the ones who got me in trouble. Talking about those, they call them full service workers on TikTok, and they're there, and none of them look attractive. None of them are stunningly attractive, and they've got stacks of money. I'm talking, they say they spent the day out traveling around and doing a tour. They call it a tour. It's like AC/DCs on the road, and they're making 15 grand cash in a day, if not more sometimes.
experience which felt raunchier than what they were used to. Given many of our clients have pretty vanilla, intimate lives, this is actually far less raunchy than what someone who is working as an escort would consider to be PSE. So often I found myself being paid for a PSC service, which the client clearly enjoyed and came back for, that felt like GFE to me. Many clients who choose a PSC option just want the intensity of an experience which comes from being with a genuinely sexual and more open-minded girl, which many of them have never experienced in their personal lives. When I work with heavily tattooed escorts, we often find they do best financially marketing themselves in this category. Like my student Kelly here. When we started working together, she had no clear marketing direction, and her photos were just this mixture of a multitude of categories because she wasn't sure which one fit her best.
If I was to speak, I know everyone's got their own different taste. So guys who are going to pay top dollar for women that they perceive as being, I don't know what the best way of saying it is, pretty loose, right? And not downstairs. I'm not talking about like pretty loose, like tats and piercings, and that's the sort of vibe that gives off a questionable background. When you see a woman, the tats on the chest. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand women putting that massive tattoo, in between on their chest bone, in between their breasts, and think it looks good. A diamond or a butterfly or something along those lines. It looks horrendous. And no, I guess there's a market for everything, and guys will pay for anything. Once again, I know this is a bit of a different video today, but this is the show for men. We're not always talking about relationship stuff or hard times. A lot of guys are doing stuff like this.
They're working together and focusing on just PSE. She went from struggling to making $7,000 working full-time hours in a whole month to fully booked tours, making her previous $7K in just 2 days. Finally, that brings us to number 1, GFE, the girlfriend experience. GFE is by far the most popular category. I think this is really sweet because GFE just represents to clients the feeling of an authentic, real experience with a woman who could be their girlfriend. While many people think the users of escorts are sex-crazed fiends, this couldn't be further from the truth. The number 1 most popular reason clients use escorts is to experience intimacy, which sex is just one part of. There are so many celebrities I could list for GFE because GFE is just a depiction of a normal girl. Taylor Swift, however, is the ultimate classic.
I cannot believe that. Taylor Swift, you got to be kidding. I couldn't think of anything worse. Taylor Swift is the poster girl for all the mature women, modern dating. I'm talking 30 plus women on the dating apps, Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, all that. That's who I say. Taylor Swift is the queen of those. She's their diva. She's the queen of the hive mind. That's the way that I see it. Taylor Swift. So let's just play this back. So we had a few strange things, or things that would be seen as, different, that are in the fetishes. They're calling these fantasies. So let's talk about it. Let's recap this video with the number 1 fantasy is a woman who is a normal girl. A girlfriend experience. Have a think about that. And so women are going out and giving men the girlfriend experience. And guys are paying for it because they're not getting that experience in the real world. And I'm not saying that's a negative towards men. Not many women are going to be able to give, because it's fake. What this woman is giving, it's fake version of what a girlfriend is. And that's what men think is the true girlfriend experience. It's a fantasy. It doesn't exist anymore for most. Most men don't get it.
GFE. Now, many escorts I work with fit into the GFE category. In fact, I'd say most escorts can fit into this category. What's great about that is if you do fit into it, the maximum number of clients are available to you. What is not so great is that it's also the most competitive, meaning the only way to stand out is to really make sure you get it right. Many escorts come...
Cool. So hang on. Let's think about this. The most profitable business segment within this line of work, within this industry, is the girlfriend experience. So women are going to go and pretend to be girlfriends for money and do a really good job of it because there's a payday. Giving men what men feel like they should get out of it. And there's big money in it. What's stopping them from just being that and not having to be an escort and having a man who will probably worship the ground she walks on? Backwards world, isn't it? Think about that, guys. So they'll go and perfect the act of being the perfect girlfriend to give the experience. Because I was talking earlier about this. Men just want someone who appreciates them, makes them feel special, takes stress off their shoulders, and is fun to be with in their spare time. That's the girlfriend experience, right? And what did I tell you that most guys get? It's the opposite of that. They get the jail warden experience. I can't believe that. I thought it was going to be something well, I can believe it now that she said it, but I thought it was going to be something absolute filth.
Come to me thinking they're marketing themselves as a GFE when actually their photos are closer to the luxury courtesan category, which is the second least popular option. So you definitely do not want to make this mistake because it means a serious loss of money. What is important to understand about being in this category is if you want to come across like an authentic, real GFE, you need to showcase yourself looking the way a client visually thinks about GFE, which is not ball gowns, designer lingerie, and cocktail dresses. When a client thinks of GFE, he's basically thinking about the cute, hot girl he's attracted to somewhere in his real life, like the hottie at the gym, or the cutie at his office, or his high school crush he was too nervous to approach.
Yeah, I don't know about hottie at the gym. I'm thinking probably more if you're going to really capitalize on it, it's got to be that real crush, the woman who would be your girl next door type, the wholesome girl next door that the guy's got the huge crush on. That is how you'll get them, not the hottie at the gym. I don't know what she's talking about with that one. As I said, guys, put in the comments. I know I seem a little bit gobsmacked about it, but really think about what this video is saying. These women are pretending to be what men want for money when they could just be that and probably have a lot better and more fulfilling lives. But they're there for the money, for the excitement, because women aren't what men want. So that's the disconnect, right? That's what a lot of men don't understand, is that we've been programmed to believe that women are something that they're not. And so they're going to escorts to get the experience because it's fake. Just stand back and understand that. That's the real takeaway from this video, from this analysis today. I know we talked a bit of smack along the way, as per usual. I think it's a real shame. It's a real shame that society has gone this way. Who knows? Has it always been this way? It's just that technology has made people more aware to it? Probably. Women are women. Women have always been the way they are. They're very good at marketing themselves in a certain way. They're very good at perception management and advertising, and very big on how they're seen by the world. Because what I can tell you guys is they're not that. I've experienced a lot of them, even the cutest, most innocent ones out there that you wouldn't think are doing all sorts of things. They're the worst. Some of them are the worst. Absolutely even surprised me. Anyway, let's watch this one out.
Think about what the visual of these girls likely looks like. Wouldn't they just be normal, everyday people wearing things like a casual gym outfit or a mini skirt and a top or jeans and t-shirt? Of course they would. So that's exactly how we dress my student Heidi here in order to market herself this way. What is great about this is you can likely just go to your wardrobe right now and pick out all these outfits, snap some selfies, upload them to your profile, and more clients than ever before will start contacting you. When they do, make sure to complete the experience by then behaving like a GFE really would. When you communicate with clients, be flirty, happy, enthusiastic, and excited to speak with them, just like you would be if you were texting a boyfriend of your own. Understanding these 7 fantasies changed everything for the women I work with.
Text these men like you would a boyfriend of your own. What? You're an escort. As I said, we need to go off planet here.
Work with. When you know which category.
All right, that's it. I'm done. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Something a bit different than normal. Once again, if you want to support the channel, the locals link, go and follow. support it, get amongst it. See you in the next video. Hope you guys have a great day.